So tomorrow's the last one.
Yep.
All right. And that's the. So tomorrow's the last of the weekly 12 chemotherapy. And that's the Taxol. And then we're gonna do Herceptin. Are you cold?
No.
Okay. We're gonna do Herceptin, which is the other medicine, the antibody, for 1 year total. You've had a few months of it, but we'll complete 1 year of therapy. But we'll switch, instead of every week, it'll be every 3 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll worry about that stuff after surgery. For now, you just continue the way you're doing. Okay. So that's one part of the plan. That's the kind of the chemotherapy part of the plan.
That's to boost the immune system?
No, that's her tumor has this HER2 new antibody that is overexpressed, or protein that is overexpressed on her breast cancer cells. And because of that, there is a medicine that's an antibody to that can sort of target that and directly attack those type of cells. And so it's a relatively new drug. I mean, now it's been around for probably a decade or so, but that HER2 new positive breast cancers are considered to be generally more aggressive. But since this medicine came out, it's actually been something that we've been able to really decrease that kind of increased risk that can go on. The one biggest thing that we worry about with it is that if it, in a very small percentage of people, probably somewhere maybe around 1 to 4% of people, probably can affect the heart. And so we do an echocardiogram of her heart every 3 months while she's on the medicine to try to make sure that it's not causing problems. So in her case, the second echocardiogram that we did still looked pretty, because her heart started out in good condition. And so the second one looked like just the pumping was maybe like 5% different. So we just will keep an eye on it, and probably around July or August would be the next one for that part.
So that's a year of this new medicine?
Right. She's already had a few months of it, though.
Okay.
So it'll be about 9 more months of it.
And the side effects of this medicine, do you know?
So the main thing is the heart thing that we worry about. People can have other things, like anytime you're getting a foreign substance or an antibody, you can worry about kind of an allergic reaction or a reaction to the medicine. But usually you would pick that kind of a thing up relatively early on, and she's done relatively well with it. The only thing, she's had a little bit of diarrhea that we're not sure, maybe could be related to it, but not totally sure about it.
Yeah, she lives with us, so we've been involved
so that
the whole time.
Maybe has a slight relation.
Okay.
Not bad though.
Okay. And so that's about it for that part of the plan. And then the second thing is, let's see. So we'll, I think you said you see Dr. Greninger later in the week. 26, and then we'll kind of go through what timing and all that stuff for surgery.
Okay.
And then I think you had asked about from the extent of the cancer. So what comes next is surgery. Extent of the cancer, can that be determined? So the best way to determine it is going to be is from the surgery. Right? From the surgery, they're going to look at it under the microscope and tell us how it looks. Now, that's not going to tell us how it looked when you started necessarily, right? But it'll tell us at that point what we can know, and hopefully she can get kind of everything around it with some edges and some extra space. Now, in terms of whether or not there's it benefits to have a picture or not, it's sort of mixed. The most important thing is kind of clinically how you look when we check every time, but we can do an MRI or mammogram or those kinds of things as well. In fact, I was going to talk to Dr. Greninger about whether or not she would want any kind of a picture before we do that. And if so, I'm thinking about maybe getting a breast MRI, but it's not so critical. I think we've seen it clinically that it's become less kind of thickened in terms of the skin and some improvement that way.
So is it just in one spot, or
It's probably across that breast, and then probably those lymph nodes are involved as well.
So you know exactly where it is right now. It's not.
Well, yeah, we have I think we know based on the scans. So now when you go in there, it may be slightly different, but in general, that's pretty good guideline.
So that new medicine, it concentrates where the cancer is to bring it up, or what does it do? It attacks?
No, that medicine, it just, no, wherever the breast cancer is anyway, that's where it tends to target those kinds of cells. Just like chemotherapy does the same thing, but it's chemotherapy is probably going to be not as targeted. So it kills a lot of dividing good cells as well as the cancer cells.
Now, is your surgery scheduled? But it will happen in the next 9 months.
I don't know. I have to talk to Dr.
Sorry, what was it?
I was just asked if her surgery had been scheduled.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if Dr. Grimmer has scheduled it
Gotcha.
or not.
No,
she usually has already something in mind, though, about when she'd want to do it.
So the 26th, we'll see her. Okay.
So I would assume it'll be sometime within the next month.
Okay.
Or just around that. And then the next thing is, you were wondering about the plan, right? So my plan would be surgery, followed by radiation. And you can get Herceptin at the same time that you're getting radiation. And then radiation and then chemo, or the Herceptin to continue for that 1 year period. And then, and that's about it. The other thing is I still would like to get a follow-up picture of the liver and see what that MRI has kind of been read out at.
Did it come from MD Anderson yet?
I still haven't seen it.
I have people I can call.
Okay.
Either way, we'll get some kind of a follow-up to that. And then there's the surgery plan, so we'll talk with Dr. Brennan. Sorry, with any other questions?
No.
Do you mind if I examine you first?
No.
Just a few minutes.
Thank you.